everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
And coming up later on the show, we're going to be talking, well...
We're going to be playing hide and seek. We're going to be talking about hiding, and we're going to be talking about seeking.
I see what you did there.
See?
But it's going to leave people confused. There was this little thing on CNN this week.
Sure.
That I'm sure a lot of you watched.
A special
report.
A special report.
On atheists.
The atheists.
And so we want to talk a little bit about that and talk about some of the issues that came up for us while watching it.
Yeah.
And some observations and thoughts and whatnot. And yeah, so that's coming up.
Yeah, we'll be talking about all of that later.
Later on the show.
Just a little bit later.
Dan, we need to congratulate ourselves.
We do?
And we need to thank all of our listeners.
Okay.
Because
congratulations. What are we doing?
We hit our first goal on Joyride.
Oh, that's right. We did.
Yeah.
We hit it.
Yeah, we are now past our first goal.
Yeah.
And we'll be thanking everybody by name who got us there this week.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's awesome.
Goal number 2 is the exciting goal. That's when it starts to really get awesome, though.
Well, goal number 2 is hiring a producer.
Yeah. So help us get there.
Yeah. Right now we're upgrading some gear.
Yeah, we went shopping just today.
Yeah, and we're going to be making this room that we're in a little more recording friendly,
even podcastier than it already is.
We'll be able to take these blankets and comforters down off the walls.
Shh, don't tell them that. No. We're not that ramshackle.
It's pretty ramshackle. In fact, I should just take a picture as we speak.
Frank's going to post a picture of.
Here's Dan. This is actually during the show. Hey,
yeah.
There's Dan.
There we go.
And
now he's going to take pictures of the.
The
setup's not great right now.
It's not great.
It's not great.
Yeah,
because we're still producing our show.
Sounds okay.
Sure, but it'll sound even better.
It'll sound better
now that we've hit that first goal.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm going to tell you a story about a young man who's actually old. He's not young at all.
What?
This is Bob Jones the third.
There are more than one.
There's many of them. I think there's probably a good baker's dozen.
Did the world need so many Bob Jones?
I don't know. Maybe. It wouldn't be exactly what it is without them. This is Bob Jones of Bob Jones University. His grandfather, I think, founded Bob Jones University, but he is the current president.
He's the current Bob Jones.
He's the current Bob Jones. I don't even think Bob Jones was his given name. His given name was probably like Harold Johnson.
It's like he's the Dalai Lama,
right?
Crazy Christian, right?
And now, with this anointing, you become
the third incarnation of the Bob Jones.
He has apologized for something.
What?
This is an amazing thing because you don't get many apologies out of guys like this. I'm going to take you back in time 25 years to the year 1980 when he, along with a whole slew...
Wait, how many years ago? 35?
25.
So 1990?
35.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
35. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
1980. You're right. I was not doing the math exactly right.
I'll teach you a little shortcut to work on that one.
Please don't.
It has to do with your age and the year you were born.
You're very, very smart, Frank. Okay. Let me tell you something about my age and the year I was born. I'm now too old to want to care about math. That's how old I am. So 35 years ago in 1980, he and Bob Jones III and a whole bunch of other very Jesus-y people went to the White House to make sure that the queers never got any rights for anything in the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
They were very, very adamant about it.
Right.
Here's what Jones said when he was there. He said, and I love the way he starts this. He says, "I'm sure this will be greatly misquoted
for generations to come."
Which is funny because you don't need to misquote this one bit. Here's what he said. It would not be a bad idea to bring the swift justice today that was brought in Israel's day against murder and rape and homosexuality.
Oh.
I guarantee it would solve the problem post haste if homosexuals were stoned, if murderers were immediately killed, as the Bible commands.
Great. What a nice, generous, sort of awesome Christian guy.
Well, he's
good.
Talking about the Bible.
Yeah.
That's pretty Christian.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a whole bunch of folks who didn't take kindly to it then, and even more who take unkindly to it now. To that particular statement.
I mean, it's just been sitting there and festering for
35 years.
Or 25, depending on how you choose to do the math.
Depending on math. Who the fuck cares? So apparently he went with a group of ministers with 70,000 signatures to petition against extending civil rights to homosexuals.
Wow. This was in 1980?
Yeah.
What was happening in 1980 that they were so scared of?
Bunch of fags. Everywhere. Here's what he said now.
Uh-oh.
Upon now reading these long forgotten words, they seemed to me as words belonging to a total stranger, were my name not attached.
What?
I cannot erase them, but wish I could, because they do not represent the belief of my heart or the content of my preaching.
Wow. Whoa. And then did he call over his partner, Phil?
Yes. Yes. They're very happy together.
He came out not too long ago.
They were wearing matching sweaters. No, absolutely not. But he did finally apologize for that thing. So, I mean, Bob Jones University is no stranger to like taking the hard line.
That's kind of what they're known for, right?
Yeah. Back in 1975, they adopted rules banning interracial dating. Wow. That's 1975. We're not talking about the 50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, it's interesting that he did make that apology. Who knows what that ends up meaning, but
yeah. But that shows progress.
Yeah.
And the fact, I mean, I kind of like how he said it too. It's like it seems like words from a different person. Mm-hmm. That's really remarkable.
It is. What is also really remarkable is that even at Bob Jones University, enough pressure has been brought to bear.
Yeah.
About that subject that he was actually forced to.
That subject.
The
subject that has no name.
The subject that dare not speak its name.
That's the one.
Anywho, what do you got?
Well, I'm gonna follow closely along.
Okay.
With yours. I did not know that you were sharing that story, but this comes to us from California. There is a lawyer in the state of California by the name of Matt McLaughlin. McLaughlin. He's from Huntington Beach, and he has proposed and has filed. He's done the initial paperwork to do a voter initiative in that state.
Yeah,
which is that's California's direct they have actually some direct democracy stuff.
Yeah,
like the citizens being able to do citizen initiatives.
That's like Prop 8.
That's how Prop 8 came forward, exactly. Right. And so he would like to have a law put in place through this process that, well, let me just go with its name.
Okay.
It's the Sodomite Suppression Act, is what he's proposing. He calls sodomy a monstrous evil that should be punishable by, quote, bullets to the head or any other convenient method.
Oh my God. He's going to be owing somebody an apology in 35 years.
The act would punish anyone who distributes sodomistic propaganda to minors. Okay, if you give any pamphlets about sodomy to a minor,
or like old episodes of Will and Grace.
Exactly. There a $1 million fine and or up to 10 years in prison and or And this is a unique one. I haven't heard about. This is a punishment
Okay.
in modern times. Exile from California.
Yes. Get out of here.
Lifetime expulsion from California.
We don't have no queer lovers here in California.
Exile.
Wow.
Exile.
That's great. We need to start. Yeah. Why not? Let's throw some exile in. Go to some
Now, of
other state.
Now, what's interesting is this first step in the process only costs $200 to file to start the initiative process. So it definitely has a low bar of entry,
right?
Which is what you want. If this is supposed to be citizens initiatives, you want grassroots things to be able to come forward.
Sure.
However, nobody thinks it will actually end up on the ballot.
I'm guessing it needs a number of signatures to get it onto a ballot.
You do. You need 365,888 signatures to qualify.
Wait, how many?
365,888.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot an important word in the middle of that number.
Right.
So over 365,000 signatures are needed, and they estimate that usually costs about $1 million.
Right. Right.
In sort of the effort of getting out there, and
wow, $1 million.
It costs about $1 million to get a proposition on the ballot.
So, like,
in California.
Yeah. Holy crap!
Even though
that's $3 a signature.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
It's costly.
Yeah.
Democracy is not cheap.
No, it is not. It's also not democracy.
Well, no, direct democracy is it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I mean, you can get some really kooky stuff coming forward with these ballot initiatives, and this clearly is one. But come on, he's not going to find 365,000 signatures.
No, I mean, if the threshold were 250,000. Sure, you could meet that all day.
Yeah. You just go to Modesto
any day of the week.
You'll find everyone you need.
Right. You just set up a you set up a booth, outside of the grocery store next to the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
They get their cookies and then they sign your petition.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yep.
Well, there you go. All right. That's horrifying in there. And he's a bad people.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to know more about him. Unfortunately, I guess his voicemail is his voicemail box is full.
Oh,
so he's not taking any messages at the moment, and he's unreachable by phone.
That shocks me. You'd think that he'd be so ready to talk to everybody after all of the feedback that I'm sure he's received.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go to the other side of the country, Georgia, the fair state of Georgia.
Oh, Georgia's nice.
We've talked a lot about these religious freedom bills that have been popping up all over the country.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about Georgia's last week, right?
Yeah, I think we mentioned it. This would be SB 129 in Georgia. I actually read a little bit of it, or a little bit of the the sort of abstract of the bill itself, just because I wanted to sort of get my sea legs under me when I was going to introduce the next story. It's a pretty interesting bill. One of the first claims that they make is that laws neutral toward religion may burden religious exercise as surely as laws intended to interfere with religious exercise.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That makes
a lot of sense.
Totally.
Do they have an example?
No. They just find and determine that is the case.
Stating it makes it so.
Yeah, something along those lines. So this bill has been forwarded as a means of rectifying that problem. One of the law's perhaps unlikely supporters is the Wiccan community.
I beg your pardon.
Which may be one of the reasons why it doesn't actually pass.
Oh, good for them then.
Because the Wiccans have decided that they know exactly what this ends up meaning, and they're super stoked about it. They've gone through the bill, and they believe that it will force the state government to enact provisions, because this bill is basically says if it's reasonable to accommodate a religious practice, then the state has to do it. If there's anything,
right.
if it's even remotely reasonable to make this accommodation, the state has to do that accommodation.
Right.
Well, Wiccans are like, hooray! So you won't mind our polyamorous relationships then, and you'll help us make sure that, all the paperwork is filed so that we can have our basically polyamorous marriages, right? Cool. Thanks. Also, on that same note, you know that our practice is all about like plants and like nature and stuff. So I guess you guys won't have a problem with us growing and distributing anything that we want, right? Wow. Sweet. Thanks, guys. They just go on and on with all of these things.
And
so
do they understand that they are sabotaging the whole thing? Or are they sincerely coming forward?
Certainly don't make any motion toward showing that they do.
Okay.
But we're in Lucian Greaves' satanic temple type territory here.
It's Greaves' law.
Yeah, exactly. They're like Wiccans. One of the things that they point out, Wiccans believe in magic, spelled with a CK. Come on, Wiccans. Why do we have to separate your magic from magic? I don't know.
It's ye old. ye oldie magic is what it is.
You have to go to Diagon Alley to get it. Anyway. Wiccans believe in magic and intent. It is the belief of our people that we do not allow someone to have our hair, saliva, urine, skin, nail clippings, teeth, bones, or any other part, excretion, fluid, growth, or any other possible matter that may come from our bodies.
Wait, what? So you can't give a doctor like a stool sample?
More to the point, the state can't compel them to give any kind of genetic material or anything like that.
Or blood test?
Right.
That's what they're going for.
Boom.
You can't
take my
do
blood
tests.
Meaning,
it's clever.
If I refuse my my blow test on the old
they're just exercising the breathalyzer,
right? Then you got no recourse. You can't prove that I was drunk.
And then you can't even haul them in and do a blood test.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And if they go onto probation, you can't do like a urine sample.
Nope. You can't have any of my fluids.
Wow, sign me up. Wow, that's interesting. So it's all field sobriety, which is so subjective.
And wouldn't hold up in court.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, all right.
They're
very... It really sounds like to me that they know what they're up to.
It does to me too.
If they were sincere about this, they would shut up and just let it happen. Right? You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be pointing out all these things that they would be getting away with. They would just go, shh.
Right.
We're going to get away with murder.
Right, exactly. And fortunately, they don't say murder, of course, but they do. But
that's the second sacrament of of Wicca.
Yeah, but they keep that on the down low. We only murder bad people and people that annoy us. Yeah, it is. It's pretty interesting. I do love that. I love that they're like, yeah, we can grow whatever we want. So
watch out.
Yeah, they're that's fun.
That's very clever.
It's fun to me.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
I would like to head up over to Pennsylvania.
Oh, sure.
Where a certain Catholic high school is, they have a new policy this year for prom.
Oh, good.
All the girls are required, before they can pick up their prom tickets, they must have their dresses approved by the school. It must be pre-prom.
Oh my
dress
God! Okay.
Apparently,
how do you read that and not immediately jump to the idea of like pervy priests wanting to stare at girls' hemlines?
I don't know. But I always think of this stuff as being. It is always, there's something always pervy about really strict rules like this because it's like
super pervy.
because the people making the rules, they're obsessed about the need for this stuff because of what goes through their mind.
Right. Exactly.
You know. But anyway, these girls are being subjected to this, and apparently, you know, like prom dresses are one of those things that you really can't return. The prom dress stores don't really have like good return policies,
Right.
Because
So you better get this right on your first shot.
you got to get it right, and then you have to go in, show it to the administration, where, and there have been a number of dresses apparently that have been rejected.
Oh no.
This is Delone Catholic High School, Delone maybe.
In what part of the state? Do you see that? Probably not
Pennsylvania.
Probably not in one of the big cities.
No, I don't think it's a big city. It's the paper is located that I got this off of is located in York, Pennsylvania, wherever that is.
Okay.
So probably I would think in that area.
Yeah.
If that means anything to anyone.
I was just trying to
York,
determine
Pennsylvania
like it's not a big city sort of scenario.
No, probably not. So what girls are having to do is, and apparently this has people kind of up in arms because while the school did decide this policy change at the beginning of the school year, they, and they have a strict dress code period for the prom dresses.
Sure.
They always have.
It sounds, sounds like, but it sounds like some ladies have been taking liberties.
Well, I think what happens
is what I'm going to say.
Here is what I've sort of gleaned from this.
Yeah.
Is that once the girls arrive at the door to go into the prom, there is a certain unwillingness to send them away.
It's hard to turn a girl away.
Minor violations.
Right.
Now, if there's like...
I love that you say minor violations. Ladies and gentlemen at home, Frank just did a gesture where he basically like ran his fingers along his own décolletage. Minor violations, he said, as though he were fingering a pretty line over his breasts.
Well, and clearly, if it's cut too low, right? There's gonna be problems. But they'll let the girl in if like it's just well, you probably shouldn't have.
Right. That hem's a little high, but we'll let you in because you're already at prom, and I don't want to.
Just a little bit.
Right.
They're not showing in like anything too egregious.
Right.
Right. They're not showing too much leg.
Right.
And so I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to crack down on the minor violations. They think, well, if we catch them before the night,
then we can totally reject.
Right. And then we can freely reject. But what they didn't take
without
into account,
ruining their evening.
Without ruining their evening, but the girl already spent the money on the dress.
Right.
Right. And so people are a little upset. Apparently change.org, there's a petition. 200 people have already signed it.
Oh, that's great.
We should probably we should get everybody on there.
Go sign it. Go sign. Find this change thing and go sign it. That'll be funny.
And there's a little photo thing here that the newspaper put together. And let's see if it will pull it up, where it's like it's you get to guess whether the dress passes or not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which is a fun little game. They've got a good little local paper to put something like that together.
Yeah, sounds like there's somebody that's having fun over there.
Yeah. Anyway,
are you looking at a rejected dress or an acceptable dress?
I was actually looking at the carpet.
Oh. Well, as long as you're doing it on our listeners' time, then
this one is acceptable.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's showing shoulder.
What do you think?
That one's got a deep slit.
So I'm going to say this one is not acceptable because
full coverage in the breastal area, but a deep slit on the leg.
Yeah. Well, and
A high slit.
and she has sort of that flesh-toned fabric across her midriff.
Oh, that sort of gives it
It looks like it might be skin
Right.
underneath it, but it's not. That was something that was mentioned specifically in the article that's not acceptable.
none of this mesh stuff.
You can't make it look like there's nude underneath.
They should
even
call
with
it-
just nude fabric.
They should call it mesh flesh. Flesh mesh.
Blatch. Blatch.
Yeah.
But it sounds like actually, I mean, they did an interview with a woman at the local prom store, a prom dress store, and she seemed to really be in the know.
Oh.
She was like, oh yeah, no, this dress would be, would be
Okay.
acceptable. This one's not acceptable.
So when girls go to the prom dress stores and they say, "Oh, what school are you at?" and if they say this school, okay, you are relegated to this section.
here's a burlap sack that you
Right.
can tie around.
Exactly.
It needs to come all the way up to your neck.
You are in the Amish section. Go over there.
Amish prom.
Promish.
I like the idea of Amish prom.
Yeah, I think that sounds lovely. Prom night's a good night to start your Rumspringa. I'm just going to point that out.
Oh yeah.
That's when you want to start it.
Oh, go nuts.
So you can, you can pull up in your limo when everybody else has the horse and buggy.
Oh yeah.
Have
Just
your-
be a little whore.
Have your alcohol and everything, and then just fuck everything you can find.
And do meth. That seems to be a
yeah.
required on Rumspringa now.
Is meth?
Is meth. I saw the Devil's Playground.
I think they think that that's just what everybody does. All the non-Amish out there are just they just do meth.
Well, and everybody knows that the Amish parties are the best. Like the teenagers. Oh yeah, they are nuts.
Well, as they would be.
Tons of booze.
How do they even get it? Brother Ezekiel, that's who it is. He's always supplying booze to the kids.
Yeah.
That guy is no good.
Well, there's probably always one like older kid who failed at Rumspringa, never went back, and
Yeah.
he hooks them up.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story about a man, a self-proclaimed patriot of our country.
Good. Okay.
Michael Conrad Sibley of Marietta, Georgia.
Okay.
A proud American and one who had I think we all have to agree, a brilliant plan
Oh.
for showing his patriotism.
Okay.
He planted bombs in a public park.
And how exactly
Do you remember
he being patriotic?
Do you remember a few weeks ago you told us a story about a guy who walked up and to some people at a bus stop, I think, and said, "Hey, are you Muslim?"
Yeah.
And then stabbed them when they said they're not.
Yes.
And then I said it would be equally believable to me that he was a Christian trying to make Muslims look bad by stabbing people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this guy's doing.
Oh, he's stabbing people.
No, he made this bomb, and then he put it in a backpack that he bought at a garage sale, which he wrote the name Mina Kodari, because he said it, quote, looked foreign.
Oh no.
And then he threw in a copy of the Quran and a book called The Rape of Kuwait in the bag, and then put the bomb.
And it was a real bomb.
It was a real bomb. He looked up how to make a bomb on Google.
So
Don't do that, by the way. The FBI will probably find out about that if you look up how to make a bomb on
but
Google.
then just don't make a bomb.
Don't make a bomb. The main thing is don't make a bomb.
Like get them watching.
Sure.
What are they going to do?
Yeah, they can watch you, but don't for the love of God, don't make a bomb. But he did make a bomb, and then he planted it. The idea being to make sure that everybody was sufficiently afraid of the Muslims.
Oh, okay. Okay. So where was this again?
In Georgia. This is the same park, by the way.
Wasn't there was a bombing in a park down there, right? During the Olympics?
I don't know if this is the same park, but
Did they have an Olympics bomb?
Yeah. This is that same area.
Wow.
And And yeah, he went and made sure that everybody was good and afraid of them Muslims.
And how did it go?
He was caught by the FBI.
So they were just waiting, watched him carry out his whole plan, and they arrested him?
I don't know. They refused to comment on how they turned to him. There were multiple bombs, by the way. But yeah, he said that he regretted that people weren't, quote, paying attention to what was going on in the world. And he wanted to make sure
Such as rednecks making bombs.
Right.
And putting them in public places.
He wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that this could happen anywhere.
What an upstanding citizen.
Right? He's a patriot.
Concerned, upstanding citizen.
Making sure
is he part of one of these like patriot groups or whatever they're called?
Well,
the ones that the militias.
Yeah.
These patriot militia things.
He's probably the head of one now. He probably can start his own, and he'll be a little folk hero.
Wow. Did you watch Vice this week?
No.
They have a whole thing on the patriot movement.
Yeah.
It's really terrifying. It's actually really, really, really scary.
Yeah, literally, it's gotten to the point in these United States, for those of you listeners who are not here in the United States, which of whom there are many.
We do have a bunch, yeah.
Just so you know, if you hear an American talk about being a patriot, that person is someone to fear.
Yeah.
There are plenty of Americans who are actual patriots, who love their country and who want the best for it.
Right.
I would count myself and you among them, Franklin, but not anybody who says it.
Right.
Anyone who makes an issue of it,
and here's the deal:
those people are scary.
If you happen to be crossing the border into the United States, illegally,
right?
And you come upon somebody who is a patriot.
Oh my God!
You're
gonna get
toast.
shot.
You're toast. Because that's what they're doing too. They're guarding the border, ad hoc, totally on their own.
Yeah, with no authorization or even
right?
legal right to do so.
Oh, there's no.
They're just out there keeping our borders safe from all them people who will pick our crops for us.
I know. I mean, I'm serious. Like, people coming into this country to work.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. But that's me.
Yeah.
And I probably just pissed off some listeners.
No, that's
who
fine.
probably disagree with that. But, all right. Well,
there you go. Well, if you have any.
No.
Oh, there's more?
Another story.
Oh,
this is a good one, too.
My bad.
This is, we're going to stick with some Muslims.
Oh, the Muslims. I
Muslims.
like calling them Muslims. It sounds so redneck when you say it that way.
Archaic spelling, right?
Yeah.
All right. We have some Muslim students.
Yeah. We do?
No,
and me?
In the story.
Okay.
Who are going to Erasmus MC, I'm assuming that's like medical center or something like that, in Rotterdam.
Okay.
And these are two female students who are they're going through the medical training, and one part of the training is that they need to be practicing doing physical, I was going to say physical inspections, examinations.
Oh, okay.
They're practicing giving an examination to someone.
Okay.
Right? Which means you got parts of your body that are uncovered.
Sure.
Right? And so these women only wanted to practice with other women. And they had some problem with that too, but I think they were willing to go that far. But they were unwilling to have a male medical student
in the same room.
No, perform the examination on them. Because they would just sort of trade off. It's just all the students practice on each other.
Okay.
Right. And so, but of course, the men need to see female bodies.
Right.
Just like the women need to see male bodies.
Right. It does seem like
to be a doctor,
you can't really exclude half the population.
No.
I mean, you could if you're like if you're going to specialize, if you're going to be a gynecologist, like down the road. You can kind of, but you got to know how all the bodies work.
All of the bodies.
To be a doctor.
And so the students, what was happening? They were They would not give and so they were, getting in trouble.
Right, because they wouldn't participate.
They wouldn't do the coursework. And so they have decided that they are suing the medical school over this issue.
Yeah.
Because their religious rights need to be accommodated. Their religious views need to be accommodated. And they need because of their religion, they need to be lesser trained doctors.
Yeah.
That's what they are asking for. They are asking to be trained less.
I have the right not to be a full doctor.
And then therefore we have the right to not give you that full medical license.
Right, exactly. Well, maybe there's a nice compromise here where they can have like half an MD. They can have like a medical license a little bit.
Yeah. It's a lowercase m.
Right.
A lowercase d.
It's an MMD. It's a Muslim medical doctor.
For females.
Right. MMDF.
Yeah.
And then
perfect.
And then you just know, don't go to that person.
Right.
Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That doctor's trained less than the other doctors. That's the one I want.
It's good. Yeah. I don't like these snooty, fully trained doctors with their big old educations and their understanding of human bodies and such.
Well, the question is, why would you go to medical school if half of the human bodies out there offend you?
Right. Yeah. Why would you want to be a doctor at all?
It makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, well, I wonder if a Muslim can a female Muslim person who's one of those sort of more uptight
female Muslim person. Okay.
Yes,
going with that.
Can she go and see like a male podiatrist? How high up on her leg does she have to worry about it before she has to see a female doctor?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If she very good question.
If she has an ankle problem, is she still okay? But if it gets up to her calf, then she has to see a female doctor. Like, where's the cutoff line on that? I don't know.
It's just so fucking stupid.
Like, she can see an ear, nose, and throat doctor, but like if it goes anywhere below there, she's got to,
right.
Who knows?
Right.
Who even knows?
Yeah.
What are you doing with that
upper respiratory?
What are you doing with that stethoscope, mister? Get that away from me. That's
you cannot listen to my heart, sir.
Sir, I beg your pardon. Get a woman in here. Get out of here.
What? Seriously though, like, what? I can't even process this.
Rules. The religions have rules.
Makes me so crazy.
The rules make sense to somebody somewhere. Anyway,
no, they don't.
If the rules also don't make sense to you and you want to tell us all about it, please write to us. Go to podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail. The phone number is 424-666-8442.
Yes, we love to hear your voice. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. And then you can see what Mackenzie's doing out there.
Yeah, and there's also the Members Only Lounge, the TGIA Members Only Lounge. That's what you should search for if you want to join on Facebook.
We had, by the way, Mackenzie, just so you know, we had a friend of ours. We were talking to him just today, and he was talking about how much he loved our Facebook page.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's his favorite thing.
Yeah,
he loves it.
Yeah,
we had to pretend like we had anything to do with it, just so that he'd like us too.
Yeah.
So.
He doesn't even listen to the show.
No, he doesn't give a shit about the show, but he loves the Facebook page. So you guys should all check that out because Mackenzie does a great job.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. This is Phil Robertson, that Duck Dynasty jackass.
What? He's so nice. he only looks homeless. He's actually quite wealthy.
Yeah.
So he must have something good to say,
or not.
Maybe if you just buy enough health care insurance, that'll keep you out of the ground. I don't think so. Save you money. You got a 6-foot hole waiting on you if you have all the health care you can buy. You say, is it going to keep me out of the ground? No, sir. It's a problem. And you know something? You can't solve it. Just like you can't see in your sin problem. Oh, I don't know. This conscience thing, we just dreamed it up. There's no right. There's no wrong. There's no good. There's no evil. I'll make a bet with you. Two guys break into an atheist home. He has a little atheist wife and two little atheist daughters. Two guys break into his home and tie him up in a chair and gag him. And then they take his two daughters in front of him and rape both of them and then shoot them. And they take his wife and decapitate her head off in front of him. And then they can look at him and say, isn't it great that I'd have to worry about being judged? Isn't it great that there's nothing wrong with this? There's no right or wrong. Now is it, dude? And then you take a sharp knife and take his manhood and hold it in front of him and say, wouldn't it be something if this was something wrong with this? But you're the one that says there's no God, there's no right, there's no wrong. So we're just having fun. We're sick in the head. Have a nice day. If it happened to them, they probably would say, something about this, it just ain't right.
I probably should have mentioned that was for a prayer breakfast that he was giving that particular little talk.
How?
What a great way to, the image of raped children, probably the best way to start your day.
And, people with their heads decapitated off.
Yeah, well... Yeah, you don't want to leave a decapitated head on that body.
No.
If you're going to decapitate the head, decapitate it right off.
You need it off. Get that decapitated head off that body. What is it doing there?
Oh my God, that's
that
horrific.
Is one of the most horrifying things. And that's his little morality.
Yeah,
his little lesson that he's trying to teach.
Well, I got to say, if you're. What's really funny is that at the beginning of the clip, you hear laughter, but as it goes on, that seems to subside a little bit.
People seem to be a little bothered, maybe.
Yeah, people are like,
oh, he's really going there.
The atheists are bad, but
that's pretty dark.
Where are you going, man?
Maybe you should go back to duck whistles.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, do a quack for us. Give us a quack. You're terrifying the children.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
seriously, what is fucking wrong with that guy?
Yeah.
Is that a little fantasy of his?
It would have to be. How do you even come up with that? If you...
Well, and it also speaks to that classic, misunderstanding of how atheists view the world.
Right, yeah. Well, it's clearly a straw man.
Yeah.
But this straw man is... I guess raping little straw babies and cutting the heads off of straw wives. It's quite a powerful straw man that he's come up with.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
Well, okay. Shake it off, everybody. Let's just take a moment, breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah.
And we're back to our show. We had a bunch of people want to get in touch with us, which we like them to do. Let's see. Sean from Australia wrote into us. He said, "Hi, Frank and Dan. How are you guys?"
Good, Sean.
And that's the end of his email. I have been catching up with a few backlogged episodes, and I'm currently listening to Burke the Jerk.
I like that one.
During the episode, you talked about the voids that atheists have to acknowledge. One of them being the lack or disbelief in an afterlife. I am a working nurse and have had some rather unique experiences when it comes to those final moments. On several occasions, I've witnessed a patient die in front of me. Nothing morbid, just natural deaths from old age and polymorbidity. Well, if it's nothing morbid, how is it polymorbid? Huh, Sean? We caught you on that one. Anyway, moving on. On many of those occasions, I have been the only person in the room, and I've always found that troubling. Where are the families and loved ones? The most recent event happened on an overnight shift at a busy private hospital. The elderly gentleman was expected to die that night. He was very aged and not in good health. His mind and personality had melted away many years ago, and what was left was the clockmaker's machine, left to wind down naturally. I had many duties with my other patients, but I found myself sitting with the old man on any occasion I could find. I held his hand and made sure he was comfortable, made sure he was warm, and that he could see out of the windows, even though the light was gone from his eyes. From one point of view, it was all pointless and a waste of time, but from my view, I tried to make his passing an easy and comfortable transition. You talked in your podcast about how events like this would probably be where the idea of heaven, the afterlife, and gods could have started. And I have to say I completely agree. And if that was all it did, then I would wholeheartedly support religion. It could help ease the loss for those left behind and help ease the fear of those treading off the dreaded path. But unfortunately, it persists in interfering with the thoughts and practices of those who don't believe their dogma or support their faith. And this is where I can never support religion or be religious. Anyway, so if nothing else, he says it was a good death. If religion were to only do this, I would be religious. I don't fear a void or nothingness. I am a committed atheist, but I do fear the sometimes lonely and callous deaths as loved ones wait for the phone call. An interesting thing. Thank you, Sean. From Brisbane, he made sure that I knew how to pronounce Brisbane as opposed to Brisbane or something.
Yeah. Important.
In Australia.
Don't want to get it wrong.
Tell you what, man, the death thing, it's a tough one.
There's no escaping it. Just Phil Robertson pointed that out. There's no escaping it.
Well, it's true. I went for a walk in a cemetery just the other day, and it's just you're gonna die. Now I do take issue a little bit for Sean, because I don't think that he should be judgmental of families that are handling their grief in whatever way they need to handle their grief. You know, if especially if someone is, you know, in a hospital bed and not there. If they're dying and they're
you shouldn't let anybody die alone. Not someone you love.
I disagree. I think that if that person has already gone, if that person isn't conscious, isn't aware, just hasn't been there,
that's just sad.
I think that what we need to do as a society is let the people who are living, who are going through that, handle. We need to trust them to be able to handle things in their own way. Is my personal feeling.
Well, you can feel that way,
and I do.
Okay.
Let's see. Amy wrote in. She said, I'm a fairly new listener and I've been listening to old episodes along with the new ones, and I just came across your Call to Resign episode. That got me thinking. I live in Ogden, Utah. I grew up in a suburb of Ogden called Far West City. Ironically, not that far west. Anyway.
Not much of a city.
Well, she says, at the time it was very small, a very Mormon town. It's still pretty Mormon, but much larger now. I was baptized in the LDS church because all my friends were doing it. I mean, it was all the rage. I didn't understand it at all, and my parents weren't active in the church, but I was the oldest in my friends group and was able to be the first one baptized. In your faces!
Shut up. That's awesome.
That's what she wrote. Anyway, I am just wondering if I would be classified as a member of the LDS church.
Yep.
I haven't been to church since probably 7th grade, and I never went regularly.
No.
I'm 28 now. I'm just wondering if I should resign. Maybe I'll send a letter anyway just to make sure. Haha.
You're a member. If you were baptized,
kiddo,
you're a member. You're on the rolls.
They are counting you.
Yeah.
You are being tracked.
Yeah.
By the Mormon mafia.
Write that letter.
You probably should write the letter.
Yeah.
It's probably a good idea. And let us know when you do.
Yeah.
We will. We did make a promise to a whole bunch of people, which we have not yet followed through on.
Oh, well, yeah. We can get to that another time.
We'll still do that eventually. I believe we could be accused of being flaky.
Shh. All right, moving on.
We have a voicemail?
We do, yeah. Let me play it.
Hi, Frank and Dan. I wanted to give you a quick call because I appreciated the shout out to Nashville. I'm a transplanted Chicagoan, and I wanted to let you know that down here we do have some clues some of the time. I've been here 20 years, and I've seen a lot of changes and improvements, including the fact that a school that for which I teach, about half an hour from Nashville in the great city of Murfreesboro, the university, Middle Tennessee State University, has a women's and gender studies minor that's just recently expanded to include a sexuality studies minor. There's a Rainbow Center in Nashville, and as you mentioned, there's Out Loud books, and there are gay bars, and there are pride rallies, and there is a clue regarding LGBT folks. In fact, one year when I directed National Women's History Month, I even brought a trans speaker in, Kate Bornstein, who is amazing, and had her talk about what it means to be a trans woman for National Women's History Month speaker. Anyway, thanks for all you do. Enjoy the podcast. Bye.
Well, fantastic.
Yes. Well done,
Nashville.
And Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
We actually went to Murfreesboro on our
We did.
on our
That's
road
true.
trip through the South.
Yeah.
Shockingly had the nicest Walmart I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed.
We thought we were going to like redneck land in like times a million, but as it turns out, we were going to like luxury Walmart. Welcome.
Yeah, how did they get a nice Walmart?
I don't know. It was weird.
We don't have nice Walmarts.
We thought it was. We knew nothing about Murfreesboro except for the fact that they had that whole
mosque thing.
Mosque dust up a few years back where somebody was building a mosque where the Muslims were building a mosque right next to a Baptist church, and there was a bunch of anger.
Right.
So we went there to see it, and what we found, and what we kind of expected, considering the magnitude of this response against the mosque.
Right.
I don't know what I was expecting to see rebel flags everywhere and, a bunch of hicks with, no shirts or what. I don't know what I was expecting.
Right.
What I found was this really nice, sleepy college town.
Yeah.
Just cute as a button. Ruined everything. I'm very upset
Thanks,
about
Murfreesboro.
Way to go.
But it sounds like they've got their act together.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Frank and Dan says, oh, shit. I don't know who that is. Another one.
Dan, get your act together, Dan.
I really do need to get my act together.
You're the one who doesn't have your act together.
None of us have our act together.
Murfreesboro has their act together.
Yeah, if I were in Murfreesboro, I would know who sent this one. Anyway,
Isn't it signed?
It's not signed. That's the problem. So now I'm looking for the name for the specific email that was sent in.
Wow. This is riveting.
Alan. And we're going to say that it's Alan. I'm pretty sure that it's Alan. Alan did send this one in. Okay, so Alan said, hey, Frank and Dan, I was listening to your latest episode and was having a good time when you were trying to come up with a name for the group of lesbians.
Oh, boy.
All of them seemed good except for a buffet of lesbians. That was yours, Frank.
I know. It is good, though.
And you should know that isn't a good name for a group of lesbians.
What?
Since it's such a good name for a group of bisexuals. A buffet of bisexuals is a good name for them, as they like both sexes, and a group of them would seem like a buffet to other bisexuals. I kind of get his point. That's cute.
I see what he's up to.
I think that's cute.
Fine, Alan.
That's cute. And lastly, April wrote in, excuse me, and said, hi, guys. I wanted to let you know I swapped my support thingy from PayPal to Joyride. I think they may show as different names, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to reveal all of the names. I was one of your first supporters, and I can't bear the thought that you might think I had abandoned you.
Oh.
Rock on, gentlemen. Well, April, I thank you so much for your continued support.
That's amazing.
It's a real honor that you've chosen to support us. We do want to mention to other listeners, April's already gone through with this, so we're not going to say anything to her, but other listeners, there's no need to necessarily switch your support platform.
No.
If you're one of our donors, if you're
PayPal is working for you. PayPal's working for you. No reason to change.
But if you want credit for it and to feel part of the campaign, the Joyride campaign, we totally get that. just write us an email.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, I've been supporting you over here.
Yeah.
But I want to be considered part of the Joyride thing. So help me out, and we'll find a way to make you part of it on your own. There's no need to switch. Although, April, that was really sweet of you.
Yeah.
Speaking of donors, we wanted to thank a few people. On the PayPal side of things, we had a one-time donation from Caleb, who wrote into us, or who wrote a message along with it that said, "Hi, my name is Caleb. I'm an atheist in my mid-20s who has the privilege, in quotation marks, of living in the heart of the Bible Belt in good old Mississippi." And he did spell it Mississippi with a little apostrophe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't have any atheist friends, and my entire family is staunch fundamentalist Baptist. I found your podcast a few months ago, and I've listened to you guys every day at work since. I've recently been accepted into the TGIA Members Only Lounge. Thanks, Dan.
Fantastic.
You're welcome. But I can't afford for any of my Facebook friends to look any further into the group, so I won't be able to post there. Therefore, in place of proverbial thanks for the ad post, please accept this small donation as a token of my gratitude.
So if you post there, it shouldn't show up, should it?
It shouldn't. I don't think it shows up on
Because
your
it's
feed.
a closed group.
It's a closed group, so anything that you post there should be completely safe. But we can do a test on that.
Yeah.
If we're worried about it. It shouldn't show up in anybody else's
not.
thing. They
Should not.
They shouldn't know anything about it.
Right.
That's just for us. It's
Yeah.
a place just for us. Anyway, thank you so much, Caleb. Now, did we have some Joyride contributors?
We did, yeah. There are 5 new contributors on Joyride.
Excellent.
We're picking up steam, it seems like, over there. We have David, John, Lincoln, Nina, and April. So thank you very much, guys. That brings our male-female tally up to 19 women and 26 men.
Ladies, you lost some ground there.
Yeah, you did.
Even with April switching over.
Yeah.
You guys kind of lost some ground.
Now remember what's on the line. Okay. We are offering to do a special one-time ladies-only online chat thing through the Google Hangout. Right? So it's a video chat. We're all in this little video chat room together.
Frank's going to be naked for it.
Believe me, nobody would want that. But, yeah.
I don't know.
This is what's on the line.
Ladies,
as
if,
soon
honestly,
as the ladies overtake the men in just sheer numbers, it's not,
right.
We're not counting dollar amount or anything like that.
No, just percentages of who's a
numbers of donors.
Right.
Then we will do that.
Right.
And at the moment, you're right, Dan, it has slipped. It was 1621 a couple weeks ago. And then now the women have only increased by 3, but the men have found 5 more.
So, ladies, come on. I really think that if you guys pull this off and you overtake the men, I think we can talk Frank into taking at least his shirt off for the video chat.
I'm pretty sure that nothing
We'll
along those lines
we'll
is
work
gonna
on
happen.
it. We'll work on it together.
Yeah.
We're all in this together, ladies.
I have to hit the
you and me
tanning booth or something. I'm afraid that the white elements in your screen that you would be viewing it on would bust out.
We'll just make sure that the white balance on whatever camera is pointed at you is adjusted properly.
Still isn't going to happen.
Anyway, so thank you all very much for your donations. We we are so grateful for everybody that's been part of this campaign.
Yep.
You can be part of the campaign too if you just go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on the Joyride button on the right-hand side of the page.
That's how
of
you
the
can
screen.
do it.
So
Okay.
so we're going to be talking about something here. You and I watched this special that CNN had.
Yeah. It was called
The Atheists.
Atheists.
Just Atheists.
Inside the World of Non-Believers.
So basically, I just flashed on a different meaning of colon, and then it sounds like it's all about colonoscopies of atheists. Inside the world of atheists' colons.
Non-belief colons. Non-believers.
Oh, look at how clean that is.
Well, what's happening
There's no blockages.
The host isn't just blocking everything.
Anywho, that's not what it was about. It was about atheists. And frankly, we don't really need to recap much because you guys know this stuff.
Yeah.
Those of us who are in the group, there were no major revelations.
No, but they had an interview with parents, mom and dad of an atheist kid. The parents were super religious,
very devout,
and were just bummed beyond belief about their kid who was going to hell,
who they consider dead,
but lives in their house.
Yeah, he lives there. They have interactions with him.
Yeah,
but he's a dead man walking.
Yeah,
they literally used the word dead,
and they said that he's going to hell. Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. He's going to hell.
Yeah, it's
they're not in their minds.
They're not one of these Christians that thinks, well, if he's got a good heart, maybe the Lord will see that. Nope. It's these are rule-abiding Christians.
Yeah, it was really sad and kind of really seemed to bother the interviewer as well.
A lot. What's funny is that their son seemed to. It was sad for him, but he accepted it. He knew it. It was fine. The interviewer was like, "What the fuck is happening here?"
No, it's true.
She was freaked out.
She was bothered. And then there was a member of the clergy. Whose voice was shifted so it sounded like this.
Right, yeah. Which is so funny because they started that portion of the show with him singing, but they also voice altered his singing, so it was like this.
Hell.
The Lord is my. It was like this really, and like you can hear digital alteration, so it just sounded digitally.
Yeah.
It sounded like a robot like a robot bass was singing to us.
Really bad Britney Spears, a really deep voiced Britney Spears album is what it sounded like.
I'm not sure where you're coming from on that, but
it was auto-tuned, is what I was.
Okay.
Anyway, it wasn't, but I thought it was funny.
Okay. I wasn't.
But he was there. His face was all like fogged out.
Right. He was all black. He was in shadow.
Yeah, and so he sort of told his story. 15 years of unbelief behind the pulpit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He can't afford to lose his job.
Right.
And he's feeding his family, but he doesn't believe
and he feels
a
like,
word of it.
He feels like a phony.
Yeah.
And a hypocrite and all that kind of stuff.
But in fairness, only because that's exactly what he is.
No, I mean, you're right. You're right. I don't want to let the guy off the hook. He's not living a authentic life.
He's in a tough position, and it's made him a liar. He's a liar now.
Yeah.
Professionally.
It's not an enviable position.
No.
It's a very difficult thing that he's going through.
Right.
He's made these decisions.
And I'm not judging the guy, but I mean, if we're going to talk about him being a hypocrite, he is.
Yeah. And, causing psychological damage through the years as well.
To himself and possibly his family. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, so that was a moment for me when that was something I wanted to talk about. There's a lot of this stuff that I didn't necessarily want to. I mean, there was so much of this special was just like, we've been there. We know what we look like. We know what atheists are.
Yeah. I mean,
we know how grumpy David Silverman is. None of this is surprising.
David Silverman was on the show.
Doing his David Silverman thing. That's what he does.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to not do it.
No. But the thing that was really interesting to me, the thing that got to me, is this idea of having to hide, having to be in the closet, having to lie. There was a person in the members only lounge recently, just this week, who posted a thing saying that she had to lie, or she didn't want to lie. She doesn't like to lie,
right?
But she doesn't know what to do because her family lives in a very conservative community. And she wants the kids and everyone to be safe and not ostracized from their community.
Right.
So she doesn't know what to say when people say, when they ask her a religious question.
Right. Yeah.
And it was tough. I mean, it's because the easy thing to say is just come out of the closet.
And the thing is, and this, I will extend this even to the minister on the show, which is you can't know what their situation is really like.
No.
And you can't know what they know they would be giving up and how important those things might be to them.
Right.
For coming out.
There was another minister that was highlighted on this show who did come out, who gave up his ministry,
right,
and then lost most of his friends. His wife left him. Like, he lost everything.
Everything. Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, that is what is on the line. But the question is,
for many,
asking him now. I mean, going through that is horrible.
Yes.
There's nothing that's going to be easy about that. And there's nothing that's, it's probably going to be really hard to have sort of, the long view of the whole thing. But like now, where is he? Where is he in his life? How does he feel about that decision?
He seems happy as can be.
Right. And that's the thing about coming out. It's a tumultuous time. It's a very difficult time.
It can be.
It can be. Your life can be completely turned on its head.
Yeah.
And but at the end of it, hopefully, the reward of living, an honest and open life full of integrity, is. Hopefully that's a really good reward.
Hopefully. I mean, authenticity is its own reward to some extent. Now, depending on where you are, maybe it's not enough. That's for you to decide.
There are communities where I would not want to be an out atheist. I mean, that's true. But I would choose not to live in that community.
Right. I would probably end up moving.
Yeah, exactly.
And moving is okay. I mean, again, then there are a lot of people who would be moving away from their family and away from all sorts of stuff, which may be necessary because they might reject you anyway when you come out of the atheist closet.
Yeah.
One of the things that I pointed out on the members only lounge on that thread that I hadn't even really thought of until I wrote it and went, oh, hey, that's pretty smart. Good job, me. Was the fact that I just wanted to remind you guys, coming out of the closet isn't an announcement. It is a series of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And that you can take that as slowly as you need to.
Right.
You can take it, as gently. You can have that conversation with one person first and see how that goes.
Right.
Find your safest person that you think would be the least likely to flip out and make your life difficult. And start there, you know what I mean? You can test waters.
Yeah.
This is a thing that you can do. And I think the point is, when we had Paige on the show a while back,
it's been a while now.
Yeah, who was a psychotherapist. He just pointed out how lonely it is not to be able to share yourself fully,
right,
and not to be able to share who you really are with other people.
And the thing is, you get used to that. Mm-hmm. You start to, like, that is just who you are.
That's your normal.
Is being closed off and being isolated and being unknown. And
it may feel normal, so you may not feel like you need to come out.
Right.
And that's okay. That's a choice that everyone has to make for themselves. But I gotta say, man, there's just something for every moment, everything about you that you can reveal. It may not be totally safe feeling to do so.
Right.
But when you can do it and when you can consistently just be you.
Right.
When you finally get to that point where the fallout has happened, everyone knows where you stand. And you can just be you. That's a pretty amazing moment.
Yeah, that
is a free and joyous moment.
Yeah,
it takes a while. It can be a hard road to go down to get to that moment.
Yeah,
and there are smarter ways and dumber ways to do it. Lord knows I made plenty of really stupid mistakes along the way. Yeah, sure. Like with my father-in-law, I challenged him when I probably shouldn't have. When there was no point to challenging him, I debated him which just made the process take that much longer and made it that much, because I didn't realize, I didn't know at that time that I'm not just challenging his ideas, I'm challenging his whole sense of himself. I might as well have been saying it's dumb to have brown hair.
He has brown hair.
Yeah. But I might as well have been saying that because that's every bit as integral to his to who he is as his religious belief.
I'm sorry, that was one of the dumbest comments I've ever made.
I'm very glad that we were able to interrupt that point.
I'm sorry, Dan. It just struck me as like just unbelievably moronic. And I was compelled to say it. That's the problem.
To ask about.
I knew that it was a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
I think the point here is that once you've gone through the process, once those who have rejected you,
right,
and those who can accept you have accepted you,
right,
you're free. You can say all of the things.
Absolutely.
You can be you.
Yeah. Finally.
And there will be people.
And you get to breathe and you get to like, you get
and there's no fear.
Yeah.
You're walking around and some stranger says, "Hey, what church do you go to?" You don't have to worry. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
All you have to say is, "Oh, I don't. I'm an atheist."
Right.
And you're done.
It's so funny to me. Like, I don't know if it was because of being a Mormon in rural Utah as a kid. And so when people
rural
Oklahoma,
right,
as a kid, and just having to like build up this really thick skin about my belief system,
right,
and for being an other,
right,
like I knew how to do it.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And so when I came out as an atheist, it was just like, well, fuck that.
It's easy.
It's easy.
You know that game.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. There's so many people who grow up in their whole community, everything is sameness.
Right.
And they're a participant and a full card-carrying member of that sameness.
Right.
And then what we're asking of them is to say, I'm different now.
Different.
And that, of course, that's scary.
It's really difficult.
Of course, that's terrifying. Yeah. And it's completely virgin territory to most people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you were in a position where you could have, It
was relatively easy. It was just like, yeah, I'm atheist. It was difficult to maybe have some of those conversations with people who thought I was a believer,
right? Because
I'd gone to church with them or whatever, or my parents,
right,
thought I was going to the celestial kingdom with them. It's so sad now.
They were so wrong.
But all the new conversations were really easy to have.
Yeah.
Well,
and I was just a weirdo as a kid. I feel like I'm in the same camp. I was in
you were in the weird camp.
I was in the religious majority where I grew up.
Right.
But I was just a weird dude.
Right.
Like I was used to being kind of a freak.
Yeah.
So
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah. Whatever. I was gorgeous as a kid. I wish I had half the attractiveness that I had back then. But physical appearance aside, I was a weird kid, and so there is something that made it easy for me, and there's something about being weird that makes this easy.
Yeah,
but for those of you out there for whom the normal is normal, God, I can't even imagine how hard that would be.
I know.
It must seem like terrifying territory. It takes bravery.
It does.
It takes guts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to summon that up somehow. Yeah. And if you can't, you can't. This isn't about judging, but it is about, but again, I think we've said this before on the show. We've had this conversation in different forms before on the show, but God, coming out feels good.
Yeah. It's a relief. You feel relieved.
Yeah.
All of that weight, all of that burden just goes away.
Yeah. And thank God, now there's the internet. There are places that you can go where you will find support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if everyone that you thought you liked rejects you, there's a whole new group of people out there waiting for you. The members only lounge will
tons of people
wrap itself around you like a warm blanket.
Yeah, it's always there. And there's always people posting on the damn thing.
Right. Or go to your local meetup group. There's going to be someone within 50 miles of you.
Yeah.
There's a lot that can be done, and maybe start with that. Start by seeing who's out there that thinks like you do.
Yeah.
Before you even come out, just find that 50-mile away meetup group. Go see who they are.
Yeah.
Go develop a network.
It's amazing what a little Google search can do in your life.
Yeah. Google's handy.
Yeah.
Well,
up there.
hopefully, you guys have some stuff to say about this. We've definitely been spouting enough for ourselves. So if you want to participate in this conversation, you can write to us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail message at 424-666-8442. Tell us your experience. Tell us your story.
Yeah, exactly. You go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or also on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
Right. You do have to search for it because it's a closed group, which means that you're safe to comment there, and nobody who's not a member will ever be able to read your comments.
Absolutely.
Will ever be able to see anything. So
that's the best part about it.
So join us, and we will join you when you do that. Thank you so much to Mackenzie for all of her hard work on our Facebook page.
And thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for letting us use their music.
Don't forget to go to Joyride and help be a part of making this whole thing happen. You can do that by going to thankgodimatheist.com and clicking on the Joyride button on the right-hand side of the screen.
So over the next couple weeks, we will be, because we met our first goal of $350 a month, we will be upgrading the studio as promised, and now we're working toward $700 a month, wherein once we meet that goal, we are going to start in earnest looking for a producer to help us out with the sort of the second half of the show.
Yep. We sure do like bringing you the show every week, and we thank you for listening, dear listeners.
Of course. Bye-bye.